Hey everybody, it's Matt and welcome to Let Me Share a Thought with you. This is part 2 of my tutorial series on the 317 chart. This one is going to be how to pick your own numbers using the 317 chart. So this one's going to be a little bit longer than the how to make your own chart video. I'll try not to get too long-winded, but I do want to go through some explanation. So what I did, we're going to look at Pennsylvania, one of the states that I neglected this week on my weekly video, so I thought I'd just throw Pennsylvania a bone here. Last night's number in Pennsylvania was 411. Today is July 28th, 2016. The number last night again was 411. So for today, we're looking at today's date, 7/28. 7 plus 28 is 35, so we're using the fives as our date numbers. And you can see the pick 2 over here. I'll talk about that in just a minute. But on the how to pick your numbers, when I look at these charts, first thing I'll tell you is you got to know your state and know your numbers. What numbers have fallen in your state recently, because you may not want to play something that just fell 2 days ago. Although, from time to time those numbers do repeat and so forth. But when I'm looking at the date numbers on the chart, what I do is I try to find numbers that are either touching the date numbers or with the date number involved in the number. So like for instance, 453. You got 345 going all down through here. Now why did I pick 453? What I did is I looked at the number from last night, that 4 in the first column. I like that 4 staying where it's at. 4 plus 1 is 5, 4 minus 1 is 3, 453. Or it could be 435, or it could go any of those 3 different directions. It could be 543, 345, so on. But in my experience looking at these charts, I like 453 as the order. The order how to pick is really, each state has their own things that go on. And that's why I say, you need to know your numbers, know your state. Keep records too. That's one of the things, that the more successful people that I've met and worked with doing on the pick 3 stuff, they all keep records, months and months of records. And they can tell you, you're going to play 453 today. Oh, that number just fell, last week. Or something like that. So you may want to pick something different. So know what's been played. Know, kind of what your patterns are, which I'm going to talk about that in just a second as well. But the numbers I picked for today, I like 453. 642 is in between both of these fives right here. 283 is down here at the bottom. 283. I generally also start with the numbers, like if one of them is not touching the 5, I'm going to start with one of these 2 numbers in my order. And in this case, the 283, in order to get those 3 together, it just makes sense 283 instead of going 823. So hopefully that is helpful and not confusing. 826, again, 826. Could go the other way, 628, or this 6. No, I'm not going to say that. All right, and then 527 is one that included the date number. So I wanted to give you an example of each of the different ways that I look at these. 527 right here. Okay. Now, in different patterns, if you will, sometimes these numbers, the date numbers, are spread out across the chart. Sometimes you'll have 2 at the top and 2 at the bottom. Sometimes you'll have 3 grouped together real tight, close together. Like this one's kind of spread out, but they're all in the middle section of the chart. So when I'm looking at that, I'm looking at something that's either going to be on the top and the bottom. Like 527, there's 527 here, 527 here. That's on the top and the bottom of this particular. So that's probably the best number out of the bunch for me, the one I like the most. Also, looking at patterns, sometimes I'll look at the flips of numbers. For instance, when there's 2 numbers like this, 6, 6 side by side, and then there's another 6 right here. One of these 6s may very well flip. And the flips, and I should have written this down before I started the video, but I'm going to write it real quick. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, well, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 0, the flip of 0 is 1. The flip of 0 is 5, excuse me. The flip of 1 is 6, 2 is 7, 3 is 8, 4 is 9, and then you're back to the 5 is 0. So we can do that too if you want to. But anyway, these are the numbers that are what I call flips. So it's not uncommon, you know, for you to pick like this 527. That 5 might flip, it might be 207. You know, you'll see that from time to time when you look at the charts and you're picking your numbers. And you know, I tell you, you know, what was a good indicator of when you're getting better at the charts is when you start, and I hear this a lot, when you start being one number off. It's like, man, I just picked all my numbers and I missed it by one number. You know, that's how you know that you're getting closer, you're getting better at it. You know, because and you'll get to the point too where, I mean, some days, like for me, some days I pick and I'm not even anywhere near it. You know, some days I pick and I'm all over it and I just missed that one combination. And some days I pick it and I hit it just right. So, you know, it's not an exact science. The object of all of this is to make you a better player and help you win more often. So, you know, don't get discouraged if you go a couple days and you haven't hit anything, because this, you know, like I said in the previous video, I'm not a fortune teller. I can't tell you exactly what number's coming out. And, you know, I do get questions like that from time to time, comments and emails, you know, what's the number for today? Like, you know, I really don't know what the number for today is, but I can give you some ideas of what I would play. You know, and here's my Pennsylvania, what I would play for today. Now, the other types of patterns that I look for, in addition to how the date numbers are set up, you know, if you go back, if you've got a record of your charts for several months, or even just for 1 month, and you can identify, like when a chart looks like this, then generally the number is going to come from here, for instance. I'm just throwing that out. I don't know if that's right, but, or, you know, if you see you've got the 2 6s, maybe your pick 4 number always is involved or right around the double numbers. Like maybe it's going to be 4925 today. You know, the pick 4s, I didn't do pick 4s in this video. I just wanted to keep it simple, so I didn't, you know, I probably shouldn't have even thrown that in, but I want to talk about patterns. I've had a lot of questions about what do you mean by patterns. Well, you know, the patterns are how the numbers fall on the chart, what order the numbers fall on the chart, when you might see a flip, you know, when to play those, you know, when to play doubles, you know, and there's some little quirky things too that I've learned. You know, if you see a couple doubles in a row, like one day is 227, the next day is 499, you know, the following day after doubles, you're more than likely going to see a 0. Zeros follow doubles. I don't know why that is, but a lot of times you'll see a 0 in the number after a couple doubles. You know, the numbers that make sense. Another thing I've had questions about that I'd like to kind of, you know, explain a little further. You know, when I do the math, I mean, it doesn't always work out. You know, it's been helpful to me to help me not pick, you know, 20 numbers when I'm trying to only play 5. You know, I pick the numbers that are, you know, around the numbers on the chart, the date numbers, but I also pick the ones that kind of go along with last night's number. Like that 453, you know, 4 plus 1 minus 1, 5, 3, 6, 4, 2 is another one. You got a 4, 4 plus 2 is 6, 4 minus 2 is 2, 2, 8, 3, 4 is, you know, 8 divided by 2, and then you got the 3, 4 minus 1 is 3, or you could do 4 plus, you know, 4 minus 1, 8, 2, 6 fits in there, 5, 2, 7. All those numbers, you know, fit. I mean, 4 plus 1 is 5. You know, 7 minus 2 is 5. So you got 5 and 5. You know, things like that definitely, you know, come up. But it's not universal. The patterns that I talk about aren't universal. They're not patterns that I can identify that always happen in every state. You know, every state has their own patterns. And a lot of times the patterns are similar in different states, but they have a different rotation. Like the pattern here in Pennsylvania may be in this particular setup, the number comes from the bottom. The pattern in Ohio might be in this particular pattern, the number comes from the top. And that's why you've got to, kind of do some research and check your past numbers and charts, and, do some comparisons, look for this setup on other charts and see where the number fell, and hopefully that'll help you. So that's how you pick your numbers. That's how I pick my numbers, I should say. And a lot of times I'll put out these videos and I'll pick numbers, and I'll always try to say in the video, you can use my numbers if you like, you're more than welcome to, but I encourage you to, use the chart and pick your own numbers, because if I didn't pick the numbers, chances are they're still here somewhere. So anyway, that's my take on that. I'm going to end this segment of the tutorial video, and I want to talk real quick about Pick 2, because I know Florida, I got an email yesterday or the day before from one of the subscribers talking about how Florida's getting ready to start Pick 2. Pennsylvania has been doing Pick 2 for a while, and they're one of the few states that have the Pick 2. I looked all over the place. Pennsylvania might be the only other one that I found. Anyway, I found a pattern. I found a formula. If you're interested in playing, it's a small payout. I think 50 cents exact is like $25. A dollar exact is like $50. But you're only picking two numbers, so if you can get good at it, I mean, you probably could make some money. Anyway, Pennsylvania last night's Pick 2 number was 09. 69 is the number. Just like 317 over here. I'll add 6 to the first column, 9 to the second column, and then use the date number. The thing I like about this is the date number only comes up once or twice in all of these charts, so you got a lot of numbers, but you don't have a lot to choose from. So like right here, I like 68, 04, 64, and 44. And I may be totally missing the ball on that 5. It may be 45 or 65 or 85 or 05, but these are the 4 that I like. So let's see how Pennsylvania turns out today on the Pick 2. So I just thought I'd throw that in on how to pick your numbers as well. I'm not going to do a whole video on how to make a chart for Pick 2 because it's only 2 numbers. Just use 69 as your number to add to your previous drawing. This 09 is what was drawn last night. So, all right, hopefully this is helpful to you. I'm sure people still have questions and things. So, by all means, leave me comments and questions, and I'll do my best to answer them. And be sure to hit the like button if you enjoy the videos, if they're helpful to you. And if you hadn't already, subscribe to the channel. And good luck to everybody. Thanks for watching.